Today's 80s icon is Kim Wilde with Never Trust a Stranger, which is my favourite song. I found it was a song that was a hit but was overlooked because when you associate Kim Wilde, people say Cambodia, She Came, Kids in America, and all the usual favourite hits. But this was my particular one. It was the one that when I heard on the dance floor for the first time, I thought, wow, it just blew my mind. Kim Wilde comes from a family of musicians, and that is why it's no surprise in my research that from 81 to 98, she's had 25 top worldwide global hits, 17 in the UK, the rest around the world, and in Holland, she was number one. But also, Kids in America launched her career for everybody. It did. Even in the US, it was number one there. I wonder if it had anything to do with the title Kids in America. Who knows? But Kim Wilde launched a career and savoured the success, and then went on to have a little mini retirement around 98 and decided to get married, have a family life, and she moved to Wales. She developed a passion for organic gardening and won a coveted award in the Horticultural Society of England, the Chelsea Flower Show, which is renowned for the Queen comes and orchestrates it and visits it during her reign as the Queen. And I don't know who's taken over that, whether it's William or Kate, but it has royal seal of approval. And Kim won her accolade for the courtyard. And when it came to music, she's never quite given up. She's recently done a tour. I think she's on the process of doing a new tour. And in between doing all of this, my commiserations, Kim, because I heard after 25 years you are now separated from your husband. So I'm sorry to hear that. But I am delighted to hear that you've continued with your wonderful career. And keep going, Kim, because we all need a piece of you. I think one of the videos that's on YouTube actually that stood out for me, and I term you as a musical goddess, was the fact that not only did you have beauty, not only did you have lyrical prowess to write some of the classic pop hits of the 80s, you also had a beauty personified that was just incredible. You sang a song, and it's on YouTube, You Came, to a festival crowd. And I ask people to go on YouTube and check that out. She's in a white jacket, white trousers, and she looks every inch of the goddess that she is. She truly proved you don't need to rip off your clothes to be that icon. Kim was just a natural beauty who moved forward with her music, and everybody just latched onto her. And I don't know any single person I've ever met that doesn't know Kim Wilde, doesn't appreciate her music, or doesn't have a favorite hit. So she is one of those living legends that's still performing. Like Cher, like Madonna, she's up there in the age group, still performing, still looking beautiful, and still doing her thing. I wish you well for the future, Kim, always, because your father was the incredible 60s icon Marty Wilde. Your brother, I believe, played in the band, and together musically as a family, you've managed your career as well as theirs, and you kept it within the family. And that's a good foundation. But you've still got to have talent. You've still got to have a voice. You've still got to be able to perform and lyrically write great hits. And Kim, you've got it all, and you're still doing it. Even at 62, she's up and about doing what she does best. Guest performances as well as mini tours. I can only admire you, Kim. You're a great inspiration for me in this channel. And I want to remember you and thank you for all the great times in the 80s. People say the 80s will never be repeated. I say this to everybody. Come on, check my channel out, and you will have European music, pop music from around the world, proving to you that all the people I feature are underrated, unknown to Irish English side of this audience and Americans. But what I want to introduce to the world is pop music from these artists that are proving the music industry is not dead. It's alive and kicking. Check out my channel and subscribe if you don't believe me. let's get back onto my favorite hit, which is Never Trust a Stranger. And I shall diagnose the lyrics straight after. Oh, 1988, and there she is for MCA Records Limited singing what she's singing. Never trust a stranger with your heart. The lyrics are self evident, aren't they? We don't really need to do a very detailed breakdown, but I will go through a few of them that's in my head. I have to say, one of the things that I've given people is when you go into a relationship, just remember one thing, and I remember saying this time and time again. I still do, I think. You're going out with a stranger. You don't know this person. Just go into the relationship little bit by little bit and see what develops. Now, in this particular song, Kim is singing about her experience of a person chasing her like a lion, hunting her down till he got that piece of flesh, that piece of meat, gnawed on it and savored it. But once he did, it was just like, well, I got you, another tick, or shall I do it this way on the video? A tick to, or a notch on the bed, or whatever, vile term you want to use. But when it comes to people being hunted down, there's many a person that thought, I can't believe I dated that person, or I can't believe that person had an interest in me. And to be honest, when you quiz the whole thing, when it's not natural, you do quiz it. That is a time that the warning signs should come up before you develop a relationship. It's like, I never expected this. I can't believe I'm dating this person, and they chase me. Wow. And you feel elevated, you feel great. And as Kim kept singing, never trust a stranger. And it's also like a chant throughout this particular pop record, and it was beautifully done, by the way. And she looked fabulous, as you can see, and that was probably the attraction of the person that hunted her down. She's the beautiful Kim Wilde. I'm determined. And they got her. And yet, there she is, giving her heart on the line, thinking, this is going to be something special. And she was disposed of, like so many people. And it is a lesson to learn in life, everybody, that when you date somebody, they are a stranger. And when you say, no, they became, maybe you're a person that knew them before as a friend, but even friendships are not relationships that go on to be long-term, a future together, living under one roof. I won't say the children marriage situation anymore, because in modern times, then they don't really come into the equation. What comes into the equation is friendship, sharing a life with somebody, not feeling lonely, and the sex part is part of it, but it's all about nurturing emotions and friendships and traveling and all of that. That's what people perceive. But again, I will say this to everybody. It's been proven time and time again when people break up and they've come back to me and said, you know what, Cisse, you were right. I never knew this person. I thought I was in love with, almost like I have put Kim Wilde in the iconic status of an 80s wondrous pop star. People put their loved ones in a relationship almost iconically as a god or goddess. Can it be a good thing? It's what your heart does, isn't it? Your heart always overrules your mind when you're in a relationship. But again, I say the important words of what this song has taught. When you are hunted down and you don't expect it, most times it can work out really well, everybody, and you can be in a relationship where you feel, wow, and it'll work out wonderfully. But a lot of situations I'm finding with young people are, they're pursued because it's about ego. And having an egotist as a partner is a dangerous thing. And the flags should have been waving all around you saying, with like two hands, no, no, step back, step back. It's overwhelming, it's a good thing, but treat it cautiously. And I always say that to people. When you go into a relationship, never trust a stranger, because that person is always a stranger. Until little boxes are ticked. Long term, sharing responsibilities. It doesn't have to be about children or marriage, but just living under the one roof, sharing a mortgage, sharing a life, sharing the rent, sharing the food bills. They're all the important things. When love subsides, sex is a bonus. Going on holiday is a bonus. All of those things are bonuses to a relationship. What develops out of a relationship? You need the trust, not just the friendship. You need the love, not just the sex, but love in holding hands, birthdays, Christmases, saying I'm sorry when there's rows, that kind of thing. A person doesn't have to prove themselves, it just has to be a natural interaction of emotions. Just look out for that in relationships and keep away from those that flower you with wonderful things and then when they have you, like that lion that possessed Kim and in the song broke her down, her warning to everyone was never trust a stranger. And that's my analysis of the lyrics. Never. We're all strangers until the situation becomes unstrange. Think about that. Take care for now and thank you for the analysis, CC. No, it's okay, everybody. Thank you for showing us Kim Wilde again. That's okay, everybody. So, in return, don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.